Okay guys, I just wanted to do a quick video here this morning before the littlest one's up. She'll probably wake up while I'm doing this, but just to quickly explain. I took all the old documents and deleted them as far as the raffles, lotteries, and whatnot, box breaks are concerned, and kind of combined them and updated it. So it should be pretty easy to understand for most of it. First off, of course, I gotta say it, do not please post anything without asking first. It's very important. We have people that I schedule this stuff for. As you can see, the last couple of months been totally booked up. I've been doing different people's raffles and whatnot, and box breaks, case breaks. Yes, buddy. Daddy's busy right now. You want to give me a few minutes, okay? Good. And so, you know, you got to ask me. As it says right here, you know, we only let our most senior and trusted members do this. The reason for this, we used to let people do box breaks and whatnot when I first started bringing them around. We had a lot of problems. Specifically, there was one big problem that caused my brother Josh to almost leave the group and quit the whole group thing. So there was also a bunch of other members that were mad over certain stuff. It wasn't that there was one that was shifty. The rest of them was just mostly just mistakes and stuff. But there's a lot of things you got to cover with these. Like, you know, I've pretty much been bitched at by everything that they can think of. So myself and Chris, we know what you have to do within these things. So whenever you want to do something like this, you got to talk to me first. If you can't get a hold of me, you can always get a hold of one of my admins. They can get a hold of me. You're going to have to be in the group for quite a while, do lots of trades. I have to trust you 100% because you could make off with a lot of money and keep your cards and just disappear. Well, look what Gabriel did. So I'm on high alert for everything right now. It's not that I'm being a jerk, it's just I have to protect members first, and if I have to step on some toes to do it, then so be it. Okay, so let's touch on the sponsored event thing. I have two different things. Like I said in the doc, a sponsored event is something that's done through the group. It's been okayed by me, it's being helped run by me, unless it's PJ or Zach or Josh or something like that. Even Chris's, I help run his, I help run everybody's. So it's something that's been sponsored by us. It's got my, you know, stamp of approval. The non-sponsored events are ones that are done. I allow the current member to advertise their event. It's not sponsored by us. It's something that they're doing on their own. I have I have nothing to do with it other than letting them post it and possibly buy into it myself. Yes, honey, you go. Yeah, I'll change it. He wants me to change truck to truck. So a sponsored event's one that, you know, it's not. Yeah, it's been allowed to be advertised. You got to ask me first. Sometimes I may say no because there's too much going on in the group right now and it's going to interfere. If you're not well known to me, I'm probably not going to let you do it. Because again, even though it's not on the group, I'm still going to try to protect my members. If I think that the prices are out of whack, I'm not going to let you do it. If there's anything fishy about it, don't even bother, because I'm just going to say no. I've gotten good at saying no lately, so, you know, I don't want to be a dick about it, but I got to do what I got to do to help things run. We can only have so many things running at one time. There's only so much money that people can spend on hockey cards. It's, you know, not exactly high on the priority list. So if we have too many things going on at once, it's all going to fail. I've seen it happen before. It's happened many times. So I've learned my lesson, and I try to keep things spread out so people can still afford. Alright, so next, let's get to the actual definitions of what these are. A raffle, you know, I think most everybody's seen a raffle by now. For every spot you buy, you get a card or card lot. There'll be an album set up so that you can look at to see what cards are in it. We go to random.org once it's sold out. Do it 3 times or however many that person wants to do it, or myself. I had to do most of the randoms. Whoever's at the top spot after the 3 randoms, or however many it's going to be, gets first pick. Second goes second, third goes third, all the way down the list. With raffles, you're guaranteed to get a card, so even if you're last place, then you're going to get the last card left over, which sucks, of course, but at least you're getting something for your money. A lottery is similar to a raffle. These are all kind of similar except for the box breaks. A lottery is basically you get anywhere, it could be anywhere from 1 to 5 cards. Typically it's 3 to 5 because usually we have at least 3 winners. Their typically spots are much cheaper because of course you're not guaranteed to win a card. Many times you don't. So it could be $3 or $5 a spot as opposed to the much larger raffles. Again, we go to random.org, random it however many times, whoever's at the top gets the grand prize or whatever they want, depending on whoever's running it. And then second goes second, third goes third. If there's any more, then you continue on. So those ones much cheaper, but not a guaranteed card win. Box and case breaks, they've been around forever. Pretty much everybody knows what these are. If you don't know what a box break is or case break, feel free to message me. You buy a team or you buy a spot, whatever team you end up with or pick, you get those cards. Most of the time you do not get base cards. It's way too expensive to ship them. So unless it's a product that has numbered base, you're not going to be getting your base cards. It's inserts, jerseys, autos, hits. Okay, so on to the confusing one, the Razes. There's a bunch of different ways of doing this. I'll quickly go through the 2 ways that we do it. Basically, a Raz is, like I said, it's a lottery for 1 card. There's 2 different types. There's the Raz Night that we do weekly-ish. And there's also another way of doing it that Bobby's been doing, and many people have asked me, so I'm just going to give a quick rundown of how it goes. Of course, the main one that we do is the weekly one. We get everybody together. I stream live on Vaughn. We have a folder set up with all the Raz cards and whatnot. You can buy pre-sale tickets, so if you see a card in there, say it's 3 for $10, comment on the card. I'd like 3 please. You'll go into the list just like everybody else because we go through the list when we hit that card, and you don't actually have to be online for it if you want to grab your cards ahead of time if you're working or something's come up. But anyways, we all get together. You can either be on the group. Most of us sign into Vaughn just so that you can watch me stream. You can see everything live as I do it. We take a card, we sell spots on it. If it passes the minimum, then good. We'll be able to, random the card. I give it a certain amount of time. It can go for the big cards. We've had a few cards that have gone up and sold for book value. Of course, they were Bobby Orr and his like. So, sometimes you can, the seller gets a decent deal out of it, but your prices for your minimum taken have to be reasonable. This isn't about making money off people. If you come to me with a 100 book value card and you want 120 for it, unless it's like the most fantastic thing I've ever seen, it's not going to happen. A lot of the time I have to skip cards because I just don't think they're going to sell. I've got a pretty good feel for this now, and I know what's going to go and what isn't, depending on the prices. And if it's not going to go, then I waste 10-15 minutes of the night on it. So I have to pretty much go with the cards that I think are going to go first and foremost. Then I'll work on the cards that I'm iffy about. If your minimum's too high, it's not going to sell, and that's even if I let you put it in. And I'm not doing it to be a dick. We're not going to get anywhere if we have, a bunch of cards that don't sell. We just sit there and do nothing all night. So, every time something fails, then it's not good for the Raz. It's not good for everybody. We sit there and don't do anything for 15 minutes that we could have done another card or 2 on. So, with that, I'm going to have to be, hopefully I don't piss too many people off, but again, I'm not doing it to be a dick. I'm just trying to keep things rolling so everybody can have fun. The other way to do a Raz other than our Raz night, Bobby does this in his group over time. A lot of people have been asking me to do this. I still have to work out, the pitfalls and loopholes and stuff that people can and may use before I can do it, but I might give it a test run just It would basically be like a weekly thing where, at any certain time there'll be a couple of cards in the folder where you either sell a certain amount of spots or a minimum amount. Could stay up there 2 or 3 days. If it sells, we random it. If it doesn't sell enough, we throw it to the sidelines and get a different one in there. So like I said there, that's the second way of doing it. It's kind of an overtime thing. It's not a one night event kind of thing. Both of them work quite well, I find. Again, it's all depending on what you want for your cards. If you want a bunch of money for it, put it on eBay. To be honest with you, that's the best way you can do it. I get people that want to do raffles and get book value for the cards they put in, or almost. And, FYI, Chris and I typically I've got as low as 30% book value for my cards, and I've got maybe, 40, 42% at times, depending on the quality of what I put in there. So most of the time, I don't even get half my book value for this stuff, and nobody else does. This isn't about getting rich. You're not going to get rich off it. You will get some cash quick, but if you can get rid of them on eBay and get more money for it, do it. You got to go with whatever's going to get you the most money. And also, if you come to me with a raffle or something you got to have wow factor. It's not going to sell out if it's just a bunch of meh players. Even if they're low numbered, no one's going to buy into it. No one wants meh players. They're not going to be worth anything in a few years. So you got to have some wow factor. You got to have some stars in there. You got to have some nice patches or crazy autographs or something to draw people's attention, or it's just going to flounder. I know. I've done enough of them now. The same thing goes with lotteries. You got to have your wow factor in there. Raz cards, a lot easier. Again, I suggest coming with at least decent players. It doesn't have to be Sidney Crosby or Bobby Orr. I do want to move. We do a lot of the big cards in there right now, but I'd like to move some middle end cards too. They're cheaper. We can turn them quicker. So if we can get a nice balance between a 50 book value card or a nice 30 book value card, I've got a quad patch card that's only 30 book value, and it's fantastic patches in it. I'd never get rid of it, but it just like the one I traded to David Everson. That's only a lower book value. I think that was 32. Nice cards. Not an all-white patch of Joe Blow down the road who's got 1 goal in the last 3 years. Don't bother. Throw it on eBay for $1 and hope for the best, basically. But that's about it. I think I covered everything I wanted to. Again, I got to make these rules. I got to stick to them. I've got to stick with the members that I know and can trust. I know there's some of us group and admins and creators have been accused of favoring certain people. It's not only myself, we all get this from certain people, and it's true, we do favor people. We favor the people that we can trust, that we know, and that hopefully won't screw us and not send out these cards or not do what they say they're going to do. This isn't being in the group doesn't give you the right to do these. It's a privilege that we extend. I could be like many other people, not let anybody do it, just be me. A lot of groups, they have no flexibility to them whatsoever. You're not allowed your PC, you're not allowed to do events, you're not allowed to do anything really. And that's not what I wanted in this. You do have to have rules, and I got to stick with them. It's worked so far. I'm sure I got lots of people out there that don't like me, but hopefully I'm doing a half decent job nonetheless. It's all about protecting everybody. I'm not doing it to be a dick. If I say, you haven't been in the group long enough, I don't know you well enough, I'm not doing it to be an ass about it. I'm not doing it to offend you in any way, shape, or form. It's just simply I've got to know you really well after the Gabriel thing, and I've seen it happen before. I'm not going to mention names because, they have friends in the group still, but we've had issues with long-term members before. They just do something really stupid or go bad, in Gabriel's case, whatever in the hell that was all about. And, it happens. So even with the most best members I got, if I get the weird feeling off it, or something ain't right, or it smells fishy, or the prices aren't right, I'm gonna say no. And there's a bunch of you that have asked me recently that I've told you to change your cards, change your prices, do something different. I'm not doing it to be a jerk. It's just I know what's going to sell and what isn't. So, anyways, guys, that's enough of me rambling. My littlest one's going to be ready, so I better go make her some breakfast. Hopefully, this clears up. What the rules are, how we're going to do it, and hopefully some more information for you guys just to understand what we're doing. Especially with the Razzes. If we could get more people to come out for the Razzes, that would be great. You don't even have to spend a lot. Set aside $10, $20. If you see a card you really like, go after it, Or if there's a card that, I could trade that and it doesn't have too many spots sold on it, grab a couple spots. You never know. You could win 3 or autographs like Basil. So anything's possible, guys. Anyway, you guys have a good one.